What's up, everybody? This is Angel Ghost Girl here, and you're watching a little bit different, every little bit of video. I'm going to put little snippets because it's August 19th and it's my birthday. So I'm going to put a little bit snippets of my birthday in there in the beginning, and then we'll get into the video of the paranormal. Because this week's going to be a paranormal read. I promise you sometime soon I should have a ghost story up because I'm in the workings. I already have the screenshots already done. I just gotta write down what I found for this week's ghost story. Well, for not this week's ghost story, but in the futures. But right now I'm getting my makeup done. So yeah, I'll be back to you when my makeup is done. Here at the pool. Yeah. That's all I can show. It's my birthday, everybody. The big 33. What's up, everybody? This is Angel Ghost Girl here, and I'm your host, Angelica. And right now we're going to do a paranormal read aloud. And if you're watching this, and it's Sunday, the 20th, then my birthday was yesterday. So, the big 33. And I may or may not have just showed you some clips for my birthday. Maybe I might throw that in there, or might have already done it. And right now we're going to read Psychic Abilities and the Occult. And we're on page 45. A Mayan Misunderstanding. Occult divination in the ancient world was not, however, limited to the contingents of east of the Atlantic. In the Mesoamerican cultures of current-day Central America, various forms of divination were widely practiced. Scholars suggest that Mesoamerica's, hopefully that's right, its earliest known major civilization, the Olmecs, 1500 BCE and 400 BCE, believed that mirrored surfaces could be used to divine the future, and a method known as scrying. This practice was adopted by the later Maya and Aztec cultures. Today, the most famous prediction allegedly made in Mesoamerica is associated with the Mayan calendar. Though the most famous form of the Maya people's calendar is round, their long-counted calendars were much larger and carved into tall monuments known as satels. These calendars were sometimes occupied by inscriptions that made predictions, but it was not a prediction that spurred the rumor that the calendar predicted the world's end on December 21st, 2012. It was the form of the calendar itself. The long-counted calendars tracked cycles of time known as Baktu, which are 440,000 days long. One such period ended on December 21st, 2012, and when people saw that was coming in a long count calendar, some interpreted it as the prediction of the end of the world. Obvious the world did not end on that date. Scholars had refuted that interpretation even before time proved it wrong, that this date was just the end of a major cycle, which was not the first, last, or in Mayan people's account of time. They believed the end of a cycle is a time of rebirth and transformation, but not the end of time of the world itself. They, in fact, had other calendars and calculations that projected 7,000 years beyond now into the future. Even so, some conspiracy theorists continue to believe that the Mayan people predicted the end of the world, just not on December 21st, 2012. Some have asserted it would come in June 2020 or on December 1st, 2020, or perhaps that even that date in 2021, but so far they've thankfully been wrong. Astrology, or the end of the world. While the ancient Mayan people are often associated with predicting the end of the world, many of today's most popular religions do have some form of astrology beliefs and predictions of the end of the world as we know it. Perhaps that is, at least in part, why the interpretation of the Mayan calendar became so popular. The Christian New Testament ends with the book of Revelation, in which the author prometheus a violent apocalypse in the second coming of Jesus Christ, when the dead will be resurrected and a new world will be born. Jewish theology includes beliefs about the end of days, meaning the end of the world, that precedes God raising the dead and remaking the world for a new era of justice and peace. Muslims also believed in a day of the judgment, also called the day of resurrection. Resurrection. Yeah, you knew that word. Another example of God unmaking the world to make it again for a new and better era for the devout, the date and time for the ultimate destruction of this world and the birth of a new one has indeed been prophesied for centuries. In the 2nd century BCE, the Jewish essenic prediction an end-time battle would happen around 70 CE. And Sylvester II, who became Pope in 999, believed that the world would end in 1000. Martin Luther, whose work started in Protestant Reformation, reportedly believed the world would end no later than 1600. Christopher Columbus wrote an entire book of prophecies and predicted the world would end in 1656. Cotton Mather, who was involved in the Salem witch trials, predicted that the world would end in 1697, 1716, and 1736, amending the year each time he got it wrong, but dying before he could find out he was wrong about the last date. There was a bit of hysteria in 1910 when people thought the passing of Halley's Comet signaled the end. Jehovah's Witnesses at the time believed 1941 would be the world's final year, but when that didn't happen, they changed the prediction for destruction to 1975, and as of course people predicted the end of the world would coincide with the end of millennium, often citing these lines from Nostradamus: the year 1999, in 7 months from the skies will come a great and frightening king. And then we're going to read this little passage right here. Mayan long-counted calendars were large and carved into stone stills. The one here is from Guatemala and shows the calendar's cycle right side, ending on December 21st, 2012. Opposite, a detail from a 15th century painting of the Last Judgment by John Juan shows a violent end of the world. So this is the monument, and this is the painting. So we're going to get the details there. So if you like videos like this, then like and subscribe. And until next time, everybody, keep up with the spookies, creepies, and sweet nightmares, and happy dreams.